What's going on, everyone? So the Lakers lost to the Denver Nuggets. I know it sucks, especially because Denver swept us. But one of the big issues that the Lakers had was the size that Denver had, right? They were very big. That was a problem that pretty much everyone had when facing them. Everyone was outmatched by the size. It's one of the reasons the Lakers went and got all the players and size that they got. I mean, Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, they both relayed the same message, right? Jeannie even said in an interview that Denver series taught us a lot, taught us what we needed to fix and what we needed to kind of build our roster towards going forward. And that's exactly what they did, right? You look at this roster, they are huge. The smallest player is Gabe Vincent at like 6'2", 6'3". Everyone else is 6'5" or taller. And you're going to have so much versatility, so much size, so much switchability. You can run so many different lineups. You can run a small ball lineup. You can run a big small ball lineup. You can run a big lineup with like Jackson Hayes and Anthony Davis. And then you have like Jared Vanderbilt if he really is 6'10", which he looks to be that case. Like all of this, like you have so much versatility with this Lakers roster. It's ridiculous. Like it's not even fair. And front to back, you can make an argument the Lakers are the deepest team in the league. In my opinion, I think they are the deepest team in the league. Because how many teams have a 12th man that you can make an argument should be a starter? Right? Like, the starters very likely are D'Lo, Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Could they have interchangeable lineups here and there? And, you know, some nights start Hayes? Sure. Right? But let's say that that's the main starting five, basically the starting five of last year after the trade. That's the starting five. You can make an argument, again, start Jackson Hayes. You can make an argument to start Gabe Vincent because he's the type of point guard that has historically had success next to LeBron James. You could start Rui Hachimura. You could start Taurean Prince and his experience. Like the list goes on and on with this roster. And it is a just breath of fresh air to just see a roster with so much size, so much versatility, just everything that you need to have success and win an NBA championship, right? Where last year's starting roster was like, dude, like, who's playing small forward? Patrick Beverley? Like, what are we doing here? Like, what's going on? It's just, again, really breath of fresh air. But outside of that, specifically the Western Conference, because that's where we need to focus on the most. Now, obviously, you got to play in the NBA Finals somebody from the West or from the East, whether it's Denver, Philly, Knicks, Bucks, whomever, right? Somebody from the Eastern Conference is going to make it out and end up playing the Lakers, assuming that they make the NBA championship, which I fully believe that they will. And you look at the Western Conference and it's like, who do we have to worry about size-wise now? Right? Like Denver's still big, but like, the Lakers could go bigger if they want. And Denver really liked to, like, they weren't running DeAndre Jordan and Thomas Bryant as the backups in the playoffs. No, they were shifting Aaron Gordon to the center position or going with Jeff Green at the center position, right? Well, now, if they did that, you could have Anthony Davis. You could use Jackson Hayes, right? Like, you could put Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, Jared Vanderbilt. I mean, you could even go Cam Reddish if you needed to. He's 6'8" and got a 7'1" wingspan, right? You got tons of versatility, but you can also go bigger in the sense of like, so what Denver did was they would go, you know, sometimes even 3-guard lineups with like Bruce Brown, Braun, Jamal Murray, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, like, they ran those type of lineups. But let's say they go Jamal Murray, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Michael Porter Jr., Braun, and Aaron Gordon, right? Well, they have basically two 6'4", 6'5" guys, 6'10" guy, and Michael Porter Jr. They got another like 6'5" guy in Braun, and then they got, you know, 6'8" guy in Aaron Gordon. The Lakers could easily run a lineup of like LeBron, Jared Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, right? Or Taurean Prince, right? If they just want to make everyone 6'6" or bigger. It's like, who do we have to worry about size-wise? You look at a team like the Suns. The Suns have no shot. Like, even if they do start Bol, right? Like, yeah, they have Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton, Bol, right? They got basically 3 guys that are 7 feet. That could be a bit of a problem. But like Kevin Durant he outside of using his length to score, he isn't a true 7-footer by any means, by any stretch, right? He's not this like tremendous like 10-point a game rebounder. He's a perimeter guy, right? Same thing with like a Michael Porter Jr. DeAndre Ayton, he's true center, back type center. Okay, cool. Bol is very raw. My guess is they don't have start Bol, and they probably go somebody else. But like, I don't think that they're going to have a lot of success rebounding the basketball and having the size to match up. Phoenix definitely doesn't have the depth and the defense that the Lakers would have. But, okay, let's say, hey, Phoenix has 3 7-foot guys, right? Well, Jared Vanderbilt is supposedly 6'10", so having that as an ability to throw on Kevin Durant is massive. Anthony Davis abuses DeAndre Ayton every time they play together. Bol at the 4. I think Rui was doing a good job guarding Jokic. You don't think Rui could guard Bol or LeBron could guard Bol? Of course they could, right? Like, and then, again, you could throw size at Bradley Beal, size at Devin Booker if you want. You could throw a Taurean Prince and just have Taurean Prince just guard Devin Booker and use his length and his size to just make things difficult for him. You're never gonna stop him, but you can make things difficult for him. Look at a team like the Golden State Warriors. They just signed a 7-footer to an Exhibit 10. But does he actually make it? Again, it's an Exhibit 10. Does he actually make the roster? If he doesn't, Golden State has nobody that is taller than 6'9". And Golden State struggled mightily with the Lakers' size, right? Kevon Looney was just a monster rebounding the basketball against everybody, not just the Lakers. But one of the big reasons the Lakers were able to beat Golden State was their size. Their size was just a problem for the Warriors. The Lakers are even bigger now, right? And like you could go a small ball lineup. You could go a big lineup, right? Like you could go Jackson Hayes, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Taurean Prince, and Austin Reeves. And now you have all 5 guys that can defend. All 5 guys can rebound. All 5 guys are the size of their centers, like outside of Reeves, of course. But like, good luck. Like Golden State, I think has no shot. That's just me personally. I don't. I think the Lakers beat them last year, and I think the Lakers are going to be better this year. And I don't think Golden State got better. Like, Chris Paul, the idea of Chris Paul, if it works, sure, maybe. But even then, like, I don't think Chris Paul is the answer, right? Like, Jordan Poole's upside is just greater because he's younger. He just has the ability to go off for 30 on any given night. Like, Chris Paul isn't going off for 30 on any given night. Could he have a night here and there where he's just, like, super hot? Sure. But, like, on any given night, are you expecting Chris Paul to come anywhere close to 30? Probably not. Where Jordan Poole on any night, you don't, like, yeah, he was terrible in that series, but there was always the looming threat of, like, oh, this guy could go off for 30 tonight, right? Like, I'm not sold on Golden State. You have the Sacramento Kings and the Memphis Grizzlies, right? Both of them got some good size, right? Especially Memphis. Memphis, they got, Tillman, who he did a really good job against the Lakers. Brandon Clark, we'll see if he returns ever. But if he returns even towards the end of the season, like that's a sizable guy, right? Steven Adams should be back. They got Triple J. But chances are their closing lineup is going to be what? Ja Morant, Desmond Baines, or Marcus Smart at the 2. And then whichever one isn't at the 2 is the one that's going to play the 3. So they're going to be small on the perimeter. So then do they try to compensate with that for Steven Adams? Okay, sure. But I still think the Lakers size-wise match up better because their front their point of attack are all 6'3" or whatever, right? Like 6'5". Desmond Bane's what, 6'5", I think? Like, that's their tallest guy. Like, I don't see that. Like, the Lakers, even if they do go like a 3-guard lineup, are still going to be bigger than that. Like, and like the Sacramento Kings, they got some size, right? Like, they got like Harrison Barnes, who's got some good size, Sabonis, Keegan Murray, right? He's what? Isn't he like 6'8", something like that? 6'7"? I think he's 6'8", if I'm not mistaken. So you got Keegan Murray, who's 6'8". Who else do they got? Alex Len, right? And he was solid for them. That's somebody that's, a 7-footer. But, like, again, Lakers, I just think front to back have a bigger unit. And they can run a bigger unit because Sacramento's going to go when you get towards the end of the game, Malik Monk, De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, and Sabonis, or they go Malik Monk, De'Aaron Fox, Herter, Barnes, and Sabonis, which means now they're small. So I'm not worried about that by any means. Who else? The Timberwolves, right? Like the Timberwolves, okay, that's a team that has real size, right? Like that's a team that I think could give the Lakers some problems. Just because they have Rudy Gobert, who he can be a handful at times. Karl Anthony Towns, 2 7-footers. Kyle Anderson, he's got good size. They retain Naz Reid. You got like Alexander, who was really good for them. Who else am I missing? Jaden McDaniels, right? He's got good size to him and is a really good defensive guy. So they got some good size to them and could make an impact and, match up well against the Lakers and kind of maybe even force the Lakers to have to go something along the lines of like Hayes and AD to close out. Although Rui had a lot of success guarding Karl Anthony Towns. So I think, again, you match up size-wise. But Minnesota, size-wise, might be the one team outside of Denver, again, like I said, might be the one team where you're like, all right, like, because they can always keep a 7-footer on the court and they just have good length and good size across the board, right? So Minnesota just size-wise matches up really well. Okay, right? But I think talent-wise, they lack. I don't think they have anywhere near the talent level that the Lakers have. So I don't think the Lakers are going to have a problem getting through Minnesota if that becomes an inevitable matchup or a potential matchup, right? So who's left? The Clippers? Okay. Like the Clippers, they do have good size, right? If we're going to be fair. And the one thing I will say about the Clippers is, if we're being honest, the Clippers just seem to have our number, right? The last few years, but they haven't played this team. They haven't played the team that we have with this level of size. But you look at the Clippers and it's like, they got Kawhi Leonard, they got Paul George, even Russell Westbrook got good size. Zubac, right? Marcus Morris, Robert Covington, Nicholas Batum, Mason Plumlee, like all guys that are really big, got good size, and can match up, right? Like they can run different units, different looks. Biggest problem is just, can the Clippers be healthy, right? Because Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, like they can't play more than 10 games together, like every year. They can't be healthy come the playoffs. So Lakers might not even have to worry about the Clippers, just simply on the fact that like, they're every year they're like an injury away from being a play-in team, or when they get to the playoffs, at least Kawhi Leonard or Paul George, one of those two aren't going to play, if not both of them, or they're going to get hurt in the playoffs because that's just what's happened every year. So again, like the Clippers are one of those teams like I just can't believe in until they prove me otherwise. You know what I mean? Like every year it's the Clippers year. For the last 15 years it's been the Clippers year, or 10, right? It's like every year it's like going back to Lob City. They have one of, if not the best teams in the league, front to back. Like on paper, the Clippers should have won the last 5 championships. But they just can't seem to get over that hump. So I can't believe in them. To put it in perspective, the best season the Clippers have ever had was making the conference finals. The Lakers, in one of the worst seasons the Lakers have ever had, made the conference finals. Like, talk about little brother, big brother, and to put things in perspective, the Lakers this year, who started 2-10 and had a 0.02% chance of just making the play-in and playoffs, not even doing anything in the playoffs, just making the playoffs, matched the greatest season the Clippers have ever had as an organization, the greatest season the Clippers have ever had with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. The Lakers did it with a roster that didn't even play 10 games together, fully healthy going into the playoffs. I don't see a problem for the Lakers. I just don't. But anyway, those are my thoughts and opinions. And as always, I pass the question on to you. Let me know yours down in the comments below. Do you agree? Disagree? Somewhere in between? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are. Love to hear it. Let me know.